Hey everyone, my name is Manish, and in this video, I would like to share my journey. This is actually an answer to a question. Most of the time, whenever I go somewhere, people usually ask me, Manish, how did you learn English? Okay, so see, English learning is a very long process. Okay, so I just thought of answering to this question with this video. So I divide my entire learning English journey or the entire journey in three parts. One is primary, another one is secondary, and third one is advanced. In primary, I consider my schoolings. So I was fortunate enough to study in an English medium school, but that was just on paper. Okay, even in my school, even the like teachers or all the students, we all used to talk in Hindi only. Okay, so even the English teachers also used to explain the entire chapter with the help of translation. Okay, like reading English, reading the sentences, and translating into Hindi, and then understanding the subject. We also had so many guides, translated guides in Hindi. There, we just used to go through the entire summary of the chapter so that we could understood we could understand the entire chapter, and we could write the questions. We could answers the question in examinations. Okay, so I recall one incident. After the test, after all the mid test and the semester examinations, when I used to see my papers, standard in grade seventh, eighth, right? So I used to see a lot of red marks and those circles, right? So that was really frustrating, and that was happening since like my standard sixth or seventh. I don't recall this part, but I recall this that in standard eight I realized this, and I was very frustrated with all these. So one day I was just trying to sleep, and I wasn't able to sleep because of this frustration only. And something happened. I just woke up, I took one grammar book, and I started just shuffling the papers, different chapters like tenses, voice, narration. So I wasn't going thoroughly. I was just checking few examples, what uh, what are the different topics of the contents of the chapters, everything like topics and all. So I came across few examples which I thought that that is the wrong sentence, but according to the structure of the grammar and all, that was correct sentence. Okay, there are various sentences in indirect, direct speech, or voice. There I could realize, okay, so these are the mistakes that I am making in my answers. Okay, and these are the reason for all those red marks and circles. So what I did, you know, that time, I took just my exam papers and I started comparing with the grammar notes and grammar book and the answers. But I could find a few mistakes I could find that was relatable with the grammar topics, but still I was quite unsure because still I had to learn so many things, right? So in upcoming few days, what I did, I read the entire chapter, like all these three chapters: tenses, entire tenses, voice, narration. And when I was reading my English books, the story books and all, I was trying to relate every single sentence with the grammar chapters. Okay. And there I started to acknowledge, there I started to observe all this meaning, where was I wrong? I started to understand the precise meaning of the sentences or the entire paragraph. Okay. I was able to at least relate something to the chapters. Okay. So this was the primary section where I started acknowledging my sentence construction and these kind of minor mistakes, and I started working on it. And when used to write answers, when I used to write different essays or reports as class works when we had to submit to the teachers. So there I started observing that the red marks and those circles are decreasing. So I understood that I was in the right track. And when I was in standard 9, so and 10th, grade 9 and 10th, there I started learning so many other things like transformation of sentences and advanced uses of these, voice narration and how to frame complex sentences using different kind of conjunctions, phrasal verbs. Okay, so I had got the test of grammar, right? That how is grammar affecting my sentence construction. So I was very curious about learning all these things, and I was quite aware of all these fundamentals, and fortunately I was able to apply all these things in the sentence constructions. This is how I work, this is how I improved my basic sentences, and this is how I worked on my basic grammar. Now, you know when I this was the primary section where I learned the basic things. Now, the major challenge was working on the quality, because see, conveying your words in simple words, that is fine, but still if you have to work on your quality, you need to further improvise your sentence constructions with better words or better sentence constructions, better phrases, right? So when I was in my standard 11 and 12th, okay, so I used to, again, my habit was, that was in my habit to read properly and observe things. Okay. So whenever I used to write something, first, before that, I used to read all about that article or everything from different guidebooks, or there were different, sources. There I used to read about all those things, and I used to collect different words and phrases, and I used to compile all those words and phrases, and I used to write my own answer. So I could see the changes, I could see the change in the graph, in my scores that I used to get in my English. Okay, I was happy, I was on the right track. Okay, this is how I worked on my uh, intermediate level vocabulary and phrases. Okay, but the major challenge was speaking, because this kind of environment that I was in, nobody used to speak in English. Okay, so hardly we used to get a chance. Like once in a blue moon, we used to get a chance to speak in English with our teachers or someone. Okay, so even in the in the college, even in the college, I could see many of my friends were quite hesitant to ask any question from the professors, and so did I. Okay, but in college, I wanted to find the solution for this, and luckily, I started this in Convo. Okay, so I still recall, and I can just link my startup with my English learning in the advanced stage. I must say, this startup helped me to learn English and make me more fluent. I do remember initially when we started this, I wasn't even that much of confident that I could speak with new inquiries or new trainers. Yeah, I used to get a lot of I used to get a lot of inquiries or friends who used to ask Manish, okay, so how are you doing these things and all, right? But I was not that confident to deal with them. I remember my the very first call, I had to ask my friend to take up the very first call because I wasn't confident enough. See, today I'm speaking in front of camera, and this is one shoot video. Like, so how am I doing this, right? So from that level where I wasn't even able to talk to someone for 2 minutes over the phone, now I am speaking in front of camera and I'm just shooting this video in one shot. How? So if I see the kind of things that I did to achieve this level, what I feel, that when I started talking with different kind of people, different kind of students, okay, that gave me different kind of opportunity to speak on different kind of topics. Okay, we used to have a lot of conversation on different social topics, and obviously before having discussion on any topic, I had to read and I had to gather knowledge, right? So there I realized that if you want to speak something, you must have something in your mind. If you don't have something in your mind, you won't be able to speak. Okay, this is for if you have to talk on certain issues. Okay, and the second part was having the normal discussion, day to day discussion. Okay, how about you? Okay, how are you? These kind of normal discussion, day to day chores. So there I could find that exactly how to tackle the situation when you don't get the right words at the right moment, or if you have to speak continuously with your friend or someone, then how to tackle these things. So honestly speaking, I didn't learn anything or these things from any institute or anywhere. No, I didn't learn these things from anywhere. Rather, while talking to my trainers, I used to observe their way of speaking, you know. So there I could realize that this listening was helping me a lot. Okay, so I used to listen to them, I used to talk to them, I used to observe their way of speaking. How are they managing? How are they managing the situation when they don't get the right words or the right context, right context at the right moment? How are they tackling with all these things? The way they were using all those fillers, I mean these kind of things. Exactly how were they speaking? I noticed everything, and I was learning one thing from one trainer, another thing from another trainer, another thing from third trainer, and I used to implement everything in my way of speaking. This is how I started to make changes in my way of speaking. Okay, so this was the advanced stage, and here in the advanced stage, everything takes place at once simultaneously, like listening to people, you understand the way of speaking, you observe their vocabulary, you observe their pronunciation, you observe their quality of words, and by listening and by reading, you can learn a lot of things and you can apply in your English speaking or writing. Now, I was getting confident. I was very happy that I'm getting very much confident in speaking and all. But still, there was one place where I was lagging. Okay, not one place, I must say two places. Okay, one was pronunciation. See, I come from Bihar. Okay, and there, if you go, still you will find a lot of MTI issues. Mother tongue influence and having horrible pronunciation mistakes. Okay, so I had many pronunciation mistakes, and I used to, make a lot of mistakes in especially sa, sha, and ja, za, right? So I ask my trainers to interrupt me, poke me whenever I make pronunciation mistakes. I was ready to accept everything because I had to improve. Okay, so there were few trainers, my initially the trainers with whom we started working with. They were quite friendly. Now there are a lot of trainers, so I don't get that much of time to interact with everyone one by one to one. But initially, when trainers number of trainers were less, we had a lot of good time to talk with on different issues and all. So there they used to poke, they used to tell Manish, this is the wrong pronunciation, this is how you should pronounce, this is how you should pronounce this word or that word, or according to different situation, how to intonate, how to mold your voice according to the different situation. So there I could learn so many things. Okay, there I realized, yes, along with the listening, you also need someone, a person who could guide you to make things faster. Okay, otherwise obviously I could have learned all these things, but it must have taken more time. Okay, this was the first issue, working on MTI and this pronunciation thing. The second thing was working on different words, brevity, we call actually, working on precise and concise way of speaking or writing. So working on brevity means you need to work on your vocabulary, you need to work on different phrases, right? So this was again a major challenge, which I accepted, and this is still in progress, I must say. Okay, every day I try to learn new words. I watch different web series. Whenever I come across new words, I just find the meaning of words and I take this screenshot of those words. Those screenshots act like kind of cue card. I just go through them in the folder and I just see them. Try to learn and I try to implement those kind of words next time when I speak to any trainer or students, or whenever I get a chance to speak with someone. Okay, this is how I am still continuing to improve myself. So this was my entire journey. How did I start acknowledging my mistakes? How did I work on my grammatical accuracy? How did I work on my different intermediate level words and phrases? How did I take help of reading and then listening to become more fluent and more effective speaker and writer? Okay, so to conclude everything, to become a good speaker, you need to be a very good listener. And to become a very good writer, you need to become a very good reader. Though, like all these four modules, reading, writing, listening, speakings are interdependent on each other, but I consider listening and reading as input module, which helps you to learn the things, but learning is not sufficient if you want to actually apply all those things in the conversation or on the paper. So, and I consider writing and speaking as practice module. This is what actually make you, you know so you have to give some time to yourself for speaking with people or writing things, writing articles. This is how you're going to improve. Okay, and here like because of all these things only we started this in Canva, so that people could get some platform or get someone to talk with. Right now we have a lot of professionals who are helping different kind of students to practice English speaking. Okay, so if you guys find it quite difficult or challenging to work on your speaking skills, you are most welcome. Obviously you can learn everything by yourself, but it may take more time. So here you may have the guidance of experts to make things quite smoother, and quite easier and quite fast. Okay, there are different activities which I was not aware of earlier. Now I'm well aware of all these things because we are into this field, we are teaching, we are experimenting, researching, right? So we are into this all these activities and developing and devising new ways of teaching people how to work on confidence, fluency, and how to teach different grammar topics, how to teach them the implementation of all these things. So you may take the guidance of our experts to learn and work upon these your communication skills. And this is it. This is all about my journey. And thank you for watching. If you're watching this video on YouTube, do help us in growing by subscribing the video. And if you wish to have these kind of videos in your feed, then do press the bell icon. And if you are watching this video on Facebook or other social media platforms, do share with your friends and family and like, comment. And if you feel that you still have some questions in your mind, then do write in the comment section. Definitely, I'll try my best to answer to all those questions. And thank you. Thank you all. Bye bye.